Yo, welcome back guys. So what I want to talk to you guys today about is the different regulations and cabling between the different countries in the UK. So one of my YouTube subscribers and YouTube members, Shane, on Instagram, I'll put all the stuff below. He has supplied me with all the cable that we can see here from Ireland. We can have a look at the difference between the UK stuff and why it works there, what I think it does better over there than it does here, and the sort of differences between the two. Wearing a woolly hat and a jumper in the unit because it is freezing in here. So in Ireland, their regulation states currently, I'm not going to try and quote this properly, but they use LSF as standards, which is low smoke and fume cable, which is the white cable that we can see here. I'm pretty sure all new builds have to be wider than this now, compared to UK, well, England, where you can sort of use it as and when you like. I'm pretty sure that it's coming regulation at some point in an amendment or the next reg change that we will have to fit this as standard now in new builds or new current or new rewires, that sort of stuff. But I'm not a technical guy. I can only tell you what whispers or conversations I've had with people. Going off from that, so their twin and earth. So this is their 2.5 twin and earth. We've got a secondary camera which we'll go down to here. So with their 2.5 twin and earth, as you can see, I've pulled some back. It's actually been pre-sleeved from manufacturer inside its PVC sheath, which really is standard. I absolutely love. So if we pull this out as we would normally strip it, so you can see as manufacturer, it's already in there. It's the difference between this just Irish stuff and the UK stuff. So if I was about to strip a little bit back off here, it is freezing cold again in the unit. So obviously you can see the difference here. The difference being, this now becomes thicker. The insulation overall cross-sectional area of the cable has become thicker because we've got another sleeving in there as well. The colours are pretty much exactly the same. This would also mean that this then becomes more expensive. It's then more difficult to fit. I couldn't fit two of these down a 20mm oval conduit or capping, which I'd fit on rewires constantly. This one, I could fit two down quite simply. But in general, so if I was to move across, so would I like to see cable, you know, normal twin and earth in England, I keep saying in the UK, in England, the same as it is in Ireland with sleeved earthing? I'd like to see it because it saves the hassle of having to sleeve everything up, carry drum around all the time, losing it, forgetting sleeving, and all that jazz. It would take more work or getting used to the different type of work with deeper chases, bit wider capping or conduit or over conduit, putting in rewires and chases, but overall you get to a point where you don't come to jobs that are missing CPC, where someone bobbed down the road decided to put extra sockets in Sally's house or whatever, if you know what I'm getting at. The difference is I'm going to try and strip it because we know I've got ideal strippers here, which are these ones. You've got CK ones, you've got ideal ones, you've got Nipex ones. We've got the variety, these type, which easily on our cable, we put on, back it on, normally twist it off. The same with the ends. There you go. But with this cable here, because of the thickness of it, the PVC is obviously wider. It doesn't actually fit through. It doesn't fit through the hole that it goes through. Come on. Right, it does just. See, it does strip it just. So that's the difference between twin and earth, Irish and English. I love this. I think this is fantastic. It would take some getting used to, but I like the idea of it. Obviously, you've got the extra cost, you've got the extra faff with fitting it. But if it ever came into regulation, then we would all have to get used to it like our Irish friends do. But that's a cool little comparison that I really like. The next one going across obviously is with LSF. So LSF, low smoke and fume, like I said earlier. It's not a regulation as of yet, but it will be. I'm 99% sure it will be. The idea of this is if your wiring was ever to catch fire or overheat, that this would produce less smoke and toxic fumes from in a household, which would create less deaths, all that sort of stuff. This is actually a 3-core, you see on here, and it's already pre-sleeved as well, which is nice to see. But the problem with LSF is it is such a pain to strip. With not only strippers, we do the hole type, cut down the center. You would normally pull out the CPC because it's unsleeved. God, see that stuff cut, but because it's now sleeved up, ugh, you can see how difficult that is. And I presume with the cutters as well, with the strippers, sorry. I presume with the strippers that isn't really going to touch it, if I'm honest. Let's have a look at this. Oh, sure, Nick. You know nothing, Jon Snow. Yeah, no, I can't pull that off. Probably the temperature in here, but yeah. So that's the difference between LSF, PVC in England versus Ireland. So the next thing is the pink cable, the little pinky stuff. So this is a round 4-core cable, all sleeved up. But what I find interesting about this, I'll just strip the end off. So this is what reminds me of FP200. So England we have FP200, which is red, which is sort of fire alarm cable that people fit. Not in domestic. I can't say I've ever used it. I've seen it around a bit. But this colour coding is, it's got a common that's white, and obviously normally with a 3-core cable in England it would be, one I made earlier, would be black and grey. To me this makes much more sense. Why don't we just do this? Trying to put another colour in. And I know my other half takes a mick out of me saying, when I moan sometimes about my job, she goes, oh shut up, it's only 3 colours. Not far off, but I think it would be a good idea to bring the neutral and just have, let's say, the common as a white or a grey or a black, rather than sticking a black and a grey in there. That's just my thoughts on it. But I presume, I can't see any markings on this being FP200 cable, but to me it has the same properties, the thickness, the strength of it, and the fact it's pink as well. So this brings me on to another subject, which I would like to see a bit of a difference between in a domestic, because obviously that's my main work, is in a domestic house I would like to see a red coloured cable designated for a smoke alarm circuit. All new households, everything, especially in Scotland where the law is changing now. Quinergy, do a podcast with quite a lot on Instagram. He was saying about the regs changes with the ICRs, so every house now, every new build, no, not every new build, every house now the government's changed that they have to have mains powered smoke alarms, which I think they should bring in. Like, this is the Irish cable, there you go, the pink stuff. We should have a red cable that's purposely fitted LSF cable for low smoke and fume, for fire alarms and heat detectors throughout the property. I think that'd be a great thing to see. Let's just have a go with this with the strippers. So it does do it. You're probably better off with one of the ergo strips from Nipex that whiz round it and you can slide it down. But then that's the difference, and there's your low smoke and fume for the colour changes. So all in all, there's a few things I would like to see different in England with the wiring. I think we should adapt or take a lot of the stuff from the Irish cable, bring it here, utilise what they've got. We would all have to adapt and get used to it. That comes with change anyway. With reg changes, you know, with the RCD boards, RCBA boards, now we have the metal ones. You know, every reg change, there's something different. I would like to see that, but I would like to know everyone's thoughts about it. You know, what would you like to see? Would you like to sleeve CPCs? Would you like doing it yourself? Honestly, I'd like to be able to just chuck this in the bin and not have to worry about it, knowing that every time I strip a cable, and the only sleeving I need would be, let's say, some brown sleeving for some switching. Other than that, yeah, let me know your thoughts. What would you like to see? What would you like to see? Do you like it? Do you not? And once again, thank you very much to Shane. I chuck his Instagram below. Go check it out. And yeah, thanks for watching. And should be next video for you, Rick the UK Spark, which is his Instagram and YouTube channel down below. He actually went to a job and he ripped out fake cable. Someone supplied and fitted fake cable where it's live, neutral, and then earth on the end, twin and earth cable. We'll do some tests on it. Hopefully we'll do a comparison on the welder where we will chuck what is 100 amps on the welder down in comparison to a normal cable. We'll check the resistance on the installation resistance and sort of see the difference between the two and see how dangerous it potentially is. Anyway, thanks for watching guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.